Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to resume with our summit and we're going to jump straight into keynote 4. Now, this is titled Quantum Banking and Quantum Financial Services. Our speaker today is Dr. Shiva Narayan, who is the Chief Enterprise Architect at Lloyds Banking Group. Now, a little bit of information about Dr. Narayan. Dr. Narayan is a true distributor in the technology industry, having spearheaded game-changing projects such as Oyster Card, London Olympics, and corporate credit scores. As a pioneer in architecture, he firmly believes that MACH is the future. As a strategic partner of Corda R3, Global Interbank Settlement Scheme, BankRail AI Network, and with affiliations with the international organisations such as the International Banknote Society, International Currency Association, and IBDC and CBDC. Dr. Narayan has an impressive track record of innovation and strategic thinking. So, I will pass over to Dr. Narayan. Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Shiva, and actually working for Lloyds Bank. You know, for me, when I go through, listen to the presentation, it's like 20 years going back, like time travel going back for 20 years, because when I came to UK in 1999, that I'm one of the few people, working for Accenture. We were moving the accounts payable and accounts receivables to India, business process outsourcing. And also, the previous speaker was speaking to me, and when he was in his speech, he was mentioning about Excel. Excel actually came in 1983, nearly 40 years now. Still, we are seeing in many organizations using Excel. So it's like time travel going back 40 years, because so many other computers, thank you very much, is still ready. So, what's really happened is there are so many good platforms like Talent, Board, Revolution R, and so many, analytical tool has come, but still people tend to use Excel. Similarly, the APAR and a lot of platforms have come, but still people are struggling. And I think the Busware and Blackline and Cordiant, you are doing a great job, because this is needed, this push needed, and they have to come into the digital transformation. And it's so funny, even now after 40 years, people are discussing about the e-invoicing. So what I would really like to speak with you, what I would really like to share with you today, another 10 years from now on, or maybe, people are now, we are doing and we are researching and we are doing quite a lot of secret projects that will be involving quantum financial system or quantum banking. The many people are now, there is a kind of a dilemma now. Digital transformation means, is it a digital transformation or is it like a distributed, like a digital transformation? So what really happens is, if you see that we did the Oyster Card in 1998 or somewhere around 2000, and TFL was using the Oyster Card, and then that Oyster Card now changed into a bank card system. But if you go to Paris, just like 1 hour from here, or you go to New York, we think that they are it should be an advanced country, but still you can see paper tickets are used in the underground or in the tubes or in the trains. So what I can see is there is a kind of there is a delay in the digital journey and also the adoption journey. And so if you see that one, so I would really like to speak to you. So it will be very interesting to just to keep yourself, just unlearn whatever that you learn, and then kind of learn something new. So that will be really good, because that will be really apt for this Futurista event. And also, I'll just talk about the futurist thing. Normally now, what the banks and many large organizations are looking into the future, especially the quantum banking or quantum financial system. Why you need this? I think you must have heard quantum computers, right? Now the quantum computers, IBM has produced now the fourth or fifth iteration, the fifth generation of quantum computer. They were started with 3 qubits, then they brought it to 72 qubits, while Google was doing Deep Blue computers, 57 qubit. But recently, IBM has released a quantum computer called Osprey, which is the 433 qubit computers. So I'm speaking something very, very large organization, and we are talking about curating the large organization and the strategic ecosystem. We are speaking like Lloyds Bank or Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or State Street. I don't know whether you have heard a company called DTCC. DTCC is Deposit, Trust, and corporate credit swaps. So it's a DTCC. It is one of the largest organizations in America. They do 2.4 quadrillion, not trillion, 2.4 quadrillion, which is $2,400 trillion transaction per year. So when you do these kind of transaction, you need something very agile, and also you need some large, powerful computers or supercomputer kind of system. So what's happening now, even now, when these companies started, they started very small, like Accenture is just started after Arthur Andersen and Andersen Consulting collapsed. Now their valuation is about 140 billion or something. They do billions or trillions of transactions. So what's really happening is the global become very small. So even London Clearing House, they are doing $1 trillion transaction per annum. If you take the forex market in UK or around the world, the 6.6 trillion transaction happening per day. On that 6.6 trillion, 38% is done by the London. So because of that, we have to start looking at some large systems. So when we start looking at these large systems, how are we going to change? What are the things that we need to do? How we move from the old method? I would like to tell about myself. I started my career in '95. I was working for Ernst & Young. Started just as just a normal audit trainee, did the CIMA and chartered. I never thought that things will change to this level, and I'm doing all this large kind of system transformation. So then I came to 98, in UK 99 for Accenture. So nearly 8 years I was with Accenture. Then in Accenture I was in charge of Oyster Card. We transformed the Oyster Card. Now nearly 8 million people using every day. So Oyster Card, 25 years ago, what Oyster Card? We will use cash, we will use paper tickets. The counters will be there, people will be issuing tickets, ticket counters. So what's the problem? Any corporates, they can give a check, no problem. But nobody thought at this time there will be a COVID. Now, when I came here, or UK pound sterling, cash, legal tender. Now you go to a bus, you go to a restaurant, nobody takes the money. We don't want cash. Openly, they're telling to your face. Maybe sometime I wonder, the COVID is reason to transform the cash into a cashless society. That may be one thing. So what we are really seeing here, it's a quantum leap is happening. And this quantum leap and the quantum change, what really happened, it was started as Einstein theory of relativity, and then we started discussing about quantum entanglement. Then, while this quantum theory is going on one way, we were having these computers, which is the computer, if you see, I don't know how many people know 8 bits. What does that 8 bits mean? On a normal chip or a microprocessor, it can have only 4 states, 0, 0, 0, 1, or 1, 0, or 1, 1. So that's the 8 state that we will have. So that 8 state, we call that as 8 bits. Okay? So what really happened, now when those has been multiplied and then it is becoming large, because when you do that computer, you'll have a sequential processing. When you do an invoice, it's a sequential invoicing. But that sequential processing is not enough for the power that we are discussing. I will tell you one example. Now what we are trying to do, we are working with one of the largest organization, one of the retail company. What they want is, they don't want to wait for the accounts payable invoices to raise. They do not want a customer go there, and they don't want to take a printer from the normal printout and to pay that. What they want is, if you really go, I think you must have gone to now Asda or Morrison's or Sainsbury. When you collect all the goods, everybody, because there's 1 or 2 tills only there, the personal till. But all the people are like now waiting on the machine, and the machines are slower to process the transaction for the people. So what now we are trying to do, on the mobile, you would be able to scan it. If you see the Amazon Fresh, Hello Fresh, there people can go with their phone, as long as they have the phone basket, they go there, they can take the things and they can walk out. The bill will be generated like an email, and then your payments will be deducted on your bank account. So, but if you really see that model, in Asda, they are doing in a different way. Because why? Amazon Fresh is so much infrastructure, so much high investment system. So because of that, in Asda, if you go, or Walmart, they give you a small gun. That gun, you'll be able to scan the QR code. And that QR code, when you pick up the things, the goods, it's automatically figure it out. And when you go to the till, and automatically it will charge the money, and you can walk out. But again, that one, it is having a investment high product. Because if you either drop that gun, or if you take home, or if you even spill some water or something, then that gun not going to work. So that will cost like a Asda or Morrison's or Walmart, some large organization. But think about it, if you have a mobile phone in your hand, when you take the things from the shelf itself, if you can scan the item that what you are taking out, put the quantity, then you don't need to wait for any queues. You can just walk out, and your bill, once you come out near to the security, the bill will be already generated and the payment deducted. If security or somebody wants to check your bags, you can see the bills, you can see the line items, and you can see the quantity what you have taken, and off you go. And once that is happened, then like most of the people will go, like 80-90% it's a normal transaction anyway. And also if people wants to take things, even now people can take things. So that's that you can't stop. So how to change this behavior? Because this is completely new. And also, if you go to a restaurant, even nowadays, you just book maybe a table, but you go there, you pay there after a meal. But now what happens, every restaurant become your own shop. So you just look at it, the seating arrangements there. where you book the seating, you can take that one. If you go to a dentist, even the dentist, what happens, like each dentist, say 20 minutes appointment, will say he's coming at 9 o'clock and going at 5 o'clock, 1 hour break. So 6 hours, so into 3 appointments per hour, 18 appointments. And that 18 appointments, we can make the payment and each customer itself book the appointment, say £90 hour. So that 18 pound into £90, that is his turnover for that day. So if it's a hospital, which 1,000 doctors, you can multiply that. So that means you don't need to create new AP or anything. AP is automatically created on the fly. Similarly, accounts receivable. So, like, I think you must have gone to Cineworld movie. You know, if you're gone to Cineworld movie, normally they give even the seatings for the movie. So you can pick the seats where you want to sit, what movie you want to watch, and you will pay. So there is no any back office running, but you will do all the back office to watch the movie even before you watch the movie. You already paid the money. So similarly, given a use case like dentist, the shopping center, as well as the, so what we are saying is everything is going to be amount. So even curating strategic ecosystem, this is what we are saying. So what we are trying to do, we are working with various organizations, how we will bring all these things into, so our first degree is commercial and retail, ACH and CHN scheme, in technical aggregation and API platform. So I think you might know what is API. You know, I think today we have spoken a lot about AP and AR, accounts payable and accounts receivable. But API is application program interface, which is coming out from the monolith programming, the old system of like even Oracle. Now Oracle and SAP become like a old kind of system, which is monolith. But we are moving away from the monolith to microservices and API system. So what we are saying is more like a curation. How to curate, because we are looking from a global point of view. How do we make it into a small organization? And secure cloud networking, flex and scale, and secure data exchange. So this is kind of quantum financial system, and hopefully, another 10 years you will see this. And also, like, I would like to speak about blockchain technology also, which will be distributed data processing, distributed computing, and also distributed technology to capture this one. Why Bitcoin is $30,000? People can say anything, but it is solving some bigger problem of moving transaction without borders, cross-border transaction, and without spending even a penny. So that really a big thing. There is some hype in the media, they're saying that is not good, this is not good. If it's not good, Bitcoin would have been zero or there's no value. But there are organizations like I told you, DTCC, you can have a look, NEX, ICAP, State Street, Fidelity, all these companies and the banks are really doing this kind of research. Even now in UK, the banks are very much geared to use the blockchain technology, and we wanted to give this technology to the corporates and businesses. So it could be even like maybe the quantum funding, and also a lot of market insights, politics and governance, and computing and simulation. And there's another new thing that is coming, the photonic enabling technology. So what is the photonic enabling technology? This is a very important thing. What really happened was, I don't know whether the COVID was there, but it's a hype, or they wanted to do it in that way. But if you see, like, what really happening is with that, people face recognition has improved. Even with the mask, you will be identified with your biometrics, with your eye sockets, with your ear sockets, you will be identified and say this is the person. So with the face mask and with the covers. So what they want is they wanted to do these things through cameras, monitoring the cameras. So it's China already done it. You call it totalitarian regime, and they were doing it without the people's consensus and everything. But finally, that's what it's going to come to. Whether it's China will do first and America do it later, Europe will follow it, or West America, then go to China, then come to Europe, or whatever the way you can take it, you can name it. But that photonic sensing and photonic enabling technology, which will help doing these kind of the transformation and also the banking and the billings much better. Now, when we do these kind of things, like, even if you see biometrics, there is a company, like, we are working, it's BioCube, and what they do is they do all these, and the IDEMIA. You can do everything like, touchless. The previous speaker was speaking about touchless invoicing. So you can just, wave your hand and the arms, and you'll be able to make that payment go through. Even there is something called Smile and Pay. You just stand there and your payments go through. Even you just go to the, say, airport, with your QR code, with your boarding pass, once you take, you don't need to pay anything, whatever that item that you take, until you get into the even flight and you fly, but your payment's deducted as long as your money, connected with your card. And normally that will happen, otherwise they will identify, the gate won't open for the person to go. If the person is not connected, if the card is not connected with that particular payment technology, then that payment has to pay through the other means. And also, like, you can see, I think most probably maybe you might not heard these words, but Google is a good place. Like I said, you can have a look at it. And quantum economics also another new thing that it is coming up. So because of the quantum, computers are now taking momentum, and quantum computers or supercomputers are coming in, and most of the large organizations are started to use. Now quantum economics also, now this is another one that I would really like to bring in, because when I see the futurist event, and I thought, want to say kind of futurist, what is the futuristic, what you are saying. So the main thing, of course, today I'm glad to hear about AI and ML, machine learning. So AI also now taken a new step, which is the OpenAI with the ChatGPT or GPT-4. It's really opened the awareness of what ChatGPT can do, and it created some kind of a threat also to many organizations to see that how dangerous that beast is. When Elon Musk said that ChatGPT is much dangerous than the nuclear bomb, and many other people, even Warren Buffett said, people didn't understand. Because the people have gone through that, and you can see it's this thing. It can eat all the data. It gobbles up the data with the quantum computers and this thing. It's gobble up all the data, and you are creating a base that's so powerful. If you see the difference between the human and the computers, the metals, what is the difference? The human, very clever, even now we are very much clever. The only problem that we have, the transferable skills. The transferable skills of a human, it takes long time. We'll say you must be a chess master, you must be a chess master player. But what happens is, sometimes you won't be able to teach that same masterpiece, that master capability to your son. But if it's a computer, the computer will learn that move as well as a new move. So the moment that it has been given so much talent and the knowledge, even they were boasting, ChatGPT is doing all the exams and it's passing. So in first class and everything, that's scary. It means it's getting more knowledgeable and more knowledgeable. And similarly, the chatbot. Now the chatbot, that's another thing. The chatbot is becoming even more cleverer. It understands, and it's also now. It's not like earlier RPA. RPA was like robotic process automation. Most of the time we use the AP, AR. Accounts payable, accounts receivable, finance back offices. We use a lot of RPA automations in the past. But now, most of the chatbots are even like started with greetings. It is starting joking with people. How is your day? And how is your this thing? Have you gone anywhere? Something like that. You're putting all these, and pictures, the photos is understanding the mood of the person. Earlier, you have a cake and you have a person, and then a person standing next to cake. But now it's figuring out, it's his birthday, or it's his wedding anniversary, or no, it's an office party. You understand? So that's kind of changing. The other one, like I said, the machine learning, and with the advent of the new computers and the power of computers, the machine learning is getting bigger. So I was telling actually when he was telling about this one, BMax. So this is a BMax solution. That BMax is our new kind of word. I think I'm completely coming from an IT background, and I started my career as accountant, CIMA and chartered. Then I've done the PhD. Then I'm doing mostly IT technological transformation, large transformation. It's turned out to be more IT. So I kind of created an architecture solution. It's called BMax. A BMax is kind of design principle. I will tell you. B stands for bottomless, or big data. Or big data and bottomless. So what I mean by that is, if you go to a bar or pub, you want to have a bottomless drink when you want a pizza or anything. So that means that you can have any buffet or anything. You don't worry about how much you are refilling. Same thing, the data should be a refillable data. We don't care about the data. That's the reason we have done data lake, data warehouse, data in the cloud. All that happened because we are liberating the data. Structured data, unstructured data, photos, messages, text, everything is getting liberated. So it's become bottomless, or a big data, or distributed data processing, DDP, which is in all the computers through blockchain. M stands for microservices, which is the microservices architecture or microservices based. What is microservices? When, like I said, it's an evolution. If you see, we started with like a basic programming language, which was a black screen. Then it came to like Symfony. Then Symfony and Windows copied by Bill Gates, and that became Excel. Then Excel became then Access, like a database kind of thing, Sage, ECPAC. Then we've done some Oracle, ERP solutions. Then we moved from Oracle and SAP ERP to a big data. Now we are discussing cloud as well as a blockchain technology. So with the normal software, we normally call that as monolith programming, monolith language. Now moving from monolith, what we are doing is microservices. Why you need microservices? The computers computer can process, but what we are having is now phone. The phone needs to change. The faster we have the app, the faster we are doing something through the phone. So that will really help us. So microservices. Then A stands for API first. Why we are not really, the organizations are struggling, still they are with the Excel, or still they are with the other system, because the moving away from the scaling from the old system is difficult. So that's API first. Then C stands for cloud native, which is Azure, Google, and also Amazon Web Service. So AWS, Google, and Azure. So these are the cloud native platform. Then we have H, which is stand for headless solutions. Then S stand for serverless. Okay, so it's a serverless computer. So that's what the BMX solution is all about. Okay, so that software solutions that we need it for the system. So these are some use cases that we have done. So which is the Max Planck and Albert Einstein and Erwin Schrödinger, Louis de Broglie. So these people have done the code. Then we also do some, the open banking solution. This is something like I have explained about 4 years ago. When we have done with the big data, this is something like a post office. If you go to a post office, you will see all the banks are connected, and all these banks are connected, and then the data becoming the main key thing that we will be converting into. And the next one, like I told you, the retail payment infrastructure. So the retail payment infrastructure, this one, most of the banks now trying to do on the inventory and as well as the other inventory as well as the AR and AP solutions. So at the moment, I think Sainsbury and Marks and Spencer is trying to do. So definitely, there is a opportunity for the accounts payable and accounts receivable vendors to really get into these kind of solutions and also changing into a new solution. So this is the architecture that I have mentioned. It's like a bottomless, big data, microservice based architecture, API first, cloud native, headless, as well as serverless. So these are 6 design principles, become kind of a one enterprise architecture solution, and that's what it is. And this is, we are writing a quantum, and also with the WorldPay, we are doing some work on the payment solution. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Arena. We'll go into a Q&A session now. Are you all right to use that microphone? You just need to slide it up. Okay, so we've got a few questions coming in from the live stream. So the first one is, what are the potential benefits and challenges of implementing quantum computing in the banking and financial services industry? And how can companies effectively navigate these challenges?
Yeah, this is like I said, what I can see is that it is again taking back to 2000, because the quantum is in preliminary stages. But 433 qubit, you are doing millions of transactions or gigabyte of transaction in a millisecond. But the speed of the quantum compute increases, the more quicker that you will do. That's what now people are now telling, or the cryptocurrencies or the other encryption will go away, the password will be broken, the codes will be moved, but that will take time. But I think there is a potential, the moment that the computers are getting that speed up and it can start processing, the computers becoming more intelligent.
Wonderful. Moving on to question 2, which is, how can quantum financial services be leveraged to enhance the security and efficiency of financial transactions? And what impact could this have on the industry as a whole?
Thank you, that was a good question. Actually, if you see the same way, I think we did speak about the cyber security side of it, or the risk, because we think that nobody will hack the computer, or the hacking is not happen, but if you really see, there's a lot of hacking happen. Even recently, the post office got attacked for ransomware. So there are organizations now looking at it, and how do we not get that computer to not get attacked, this thing. And also Active Directory. So AD is the main thing, that is the form, it's like a user role-based ID and password. So through that, attacker can go in and attack the system. So maybe with the cyber security and all the other technologies, probably the hacking could be.
Wonderful, thank you. And I've got a final one here, which is, what are the ethical considerations that need to be taken into account when developing and implementing QFS? And how can companies ensure that their use of quantum computing aligns with the values and expectations of their customers and stakeholders?
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, if you say ESG, now everybody says the ESG, economy and the eco, because the paper waste, people are saying about paper. If you say you are printing bills or the receipts or invoices, you are spending so much paper, and that's the reason most of the organizations we are saying paperless companies or paperless organizations. So even if you do everything through, if you can able to do capture the inventory, capture the even items, picking items. So whether it's a parts shop or whether it is a assembly line shop or whether it's a manufacturing or production or whether it is on a normal retail shop, if you can capture those details into an app or the phone, then it will be able to reduce the paperwork, and that way you will be able to get into the back office, and for their work would be much easier, the API and the app.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Shiva. Thank you for your keynote, for your answers to those questions. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.